Hello everyone, Ryan here. Welcome to episode 4 of So You Wanna Boom Boom. So this is a series where I am basically trying to incorporate a synergy amongst my ultimate weapons in terms of damage. And for lack of a better term, I'm just going to coin it the Boom Boom build. Right? I just want everything to pop off on my stream, on my screen. And we're in the process of getting there. But this week I think we actually have some interesting things to consider. So let's get started with first looking at lifetime stats. So coins earn 70, almost 72 quintillion coins now. Stones at about 124,000. So I think between last week and this week, coins has really jumped up by quite a significant amount. I think I'm getting roughly like 2.5 to 3 Q coin per day nowadays. I think so. I haven't really been tracking it very much, but it works out to be something like 95 to 98 Q per hour. Little Q per hour. Now, in terms of my farming, I'm still currently farming tier 16. As you can see, I've just got a new PB, 8186 waves. Just last week, I think this number was low 7,000s. So we got a 1,000 wave increase. Pretty crazy. I'll share with you guys how I managed to get that. Tier 16 farming, it's now up to 710Q. Now, of course, this is just personal best numbers. I think the more accurate number is going to be something like 5 to 600Q, 7.2, 7.3K waves, something like that. I'm not sure what happened in this run. I wasn't checking it. At this stage, I've tried tier 17 farming, and as the numbers turned out, tier 17 farming is not as efficient for me as tier 16. And the main issue that I am facing is if we look at tier 17, even though the multiplier that I get is 8,000 here versus 6.9k, so it's 1,000 multiplier above. Because of tank ultimate in tier 17, and because my tower lacks bursty damage, I think it's causing me a bit of issues in the sense that I can't kill the tank enemies fast enough. And so what I notice is that my peak coin in tier 17 turns out to be lower than my peak coin in tier 16. So you know what, let's chase the efficiency, let's stay on in tier 16 for a bit. That's perfectly fine with me. Tank ultimates do introduce a level of variance to the farming run. And unless I'm ready for it, I am in no rush to get there. Well, so let's consider the workshops and what has changed over the past couple of days. So still running 30 meter attack range. In my farming runs, even though I have my range mastery completely maxed, and that would give me a much higher damage per meter, I'm choosing not to run with range and instead just use health regen over here. The main reason is because having a larger range reduces my coin per minute. So at this stage, I don't see the worth of the trade-off at this stage. Maybe that will change down the line, who knows, but at least for now in tier 16, I'm getting to wave 7,000-ish pretty comfortably, so I'm not too worried about getting the damage per meter number up just yet. Now, in terms of the other stats, the main change that I've made is I have locked bound shot range. So special shout out to Christian for this. So Christian had originally told me to lock bound shot chance and level this down to 0. The reason is because when we have bound shots, the bound shots have a possibility to tag enemies away from our tower, and that would end up killing the enemies before they get tagged by our extra orbs. And we don't want that, because when that happens, we lose out on the coin multiplier from extra orbs. So because, as you can see, my bound shot chance is a bit high at the moment. It's coming from the substat that I have wrote on my module. I don't necessarily want my bound shot chance to be so high. what I've done then is I've just locked bound short range. Now, in terms of my rend armor, well, I mean, we have a bit of queues to spare at this stage, so let's just bring this up. It's pretty cheap to bring them up to 200 each now. Now in the defense tab, nothing much has changed. Oh, I didn't level this landmine damage. Let's just max it out as well. It's pretty cheap at this stage. Shockwave size, I've locked it at 1.3. This is just for the sake of farming at 30 meters. I don't want my shockwave to push enemies out. I want to kill them as quickly as possible. So 1.3 seems to be working just fine for me now. In terms of my upgrades, you can see my upgrades. You'll notice that free utility upgrade is significantly lower than free attack and free defense. I'll show you guys why that happened. And my attack level skips and health level skips are both at 600 now. So if I was in front of my computer when the run started, I would have maxed out both of these level skips by wave 50 to wave 60. If I'm not in front of my computer, well, I don't know when they will max out, but it wouldn't take very long. Maybe wave 80 or so, where we should have gotten most of it done. So that is my workshops. So now let's look at ultimate weapons. In terms of ultimate weapon development, I haven't really touched anything in Chain Lightning over the past few weeks. Smart missiles haven't touched anything as well. Nothing in Death Wave, nothing in Chronofield. Well, I mean, basically nothing. However, on stream just yesterday, someone mentioned that IOM Plus is going to be very useful with Chrono Jump, and I kind of agree with that. So with next month's stones, I'm going to unlock Charge Mines. Just the unlock will do, so I can start labbing Chrono Jump, and maybe if I have some spare stones, I might dump a little bit into damage, maybe bring it up to 2 to 300 X multiplier. Golden Combo, I haven't really touched it. Duration is at 75 seconds now. It's not the best, but it's getting quite pricey, everything now. And with version 27, there's so many updates, so many upgrades that we can get. So I think I'm going to take a backseat on GT for a bit. Now, in terms of the Black Hole, I've decided to pause this. I didn't want to get extra size because I've unlocked light range. So check it out, level 2 for Spotlight Plus now. I would like to bring this number up a little bit. However, and this is a big however, I'm actually not sure how much benefit it has provided me. And the main reason for this is because over the past week, in addition to unlocking Spotlight Plus, as you can see, I've also gotten my Amplifying Strikes module, and it's at 1 star. Now we'll get to the module in a bit, but because I've equipped Light Range and Amplifying Strikes at the same time, I'm not sure where the main benefit has been coming from. I'm sure Spotlight Plus has given me, at least a couple of 100 waves in my tournaments, which we'll get to later on. But at this stage, I'm not sure about the exact ROI. But as you can see, it's actually not super expensive, and my death creep is currently at level 4. So I do feel that I want to bring this up to light range level 4 as well. Especially since I've already got my damage per meter, my range cut maxed out. And where this will benefit me is not only in tournaments, but when I move to tier 17 farming. I think at the start, I'm still going to run with the range cut, which means I'll be running at 43 meters, which means I still benefit a little bit from Spotlight Plus here. The benefit might not be super pronounced as compared to tournaments, but overall, I think it's going to be worthy to put in a level or two. When that is going to happen, I am not entirely sure yet, but I do have a rough plan in mind. And so I'll share with you guys more on that plan when the new month hits, because you know what happens on the new month, right? We go to a particular website. Anyway, let's look at enhancements. So in terms of enhancements, as you can see, I've taken out a bit of coin from my free utility. Right? That coin has been then spent on enemy level skips and coin bonus. Overall, I think this gives me better coin, having coin bonus than free upgrades. So, I don't feel bad about it. And also it's pretty cheap to get this free upgrade level. So typically what I would do is, I'll just dump in a couple of levels into free upgrades. And then because I'm also running the enhancement utility coin discount, so every couple of days I would then do a respec. And when I've done that respec, this free upgrade level will then go back down to 1.4 again, and then I'll dump the remaining coin into ELS and Coin Plus. And then the process kind of repeats itself. Now you see that I can actually upgrade this, but I'm choosing not to do so. And the main reason for that is because I'm trying to gear myself more towards damage. So if we go to the damage tab, damage, crit factor, super crit multiplier, they're all at 2.7 now. I want to bring rend, armor, and damage per meter up to 2.7 as well. Attack speed up to 1.4. And I think for good measure, I'm probably going to try to bring this up to a point where they cost 1 Q, 1 big Q per click. I think that's going to happen around the 2.9 to 3 region. And then once that is done, I'm going to be done with upgrading my damage. The only reason why I'm focusing on damage at this stage for my farming runs is so that I can make the transition into tier 17. So in terms of the health tab, nothing has changed. Op size is still at 1.7. I would like to bring this up a little bit, but between damage, op size, and utility enhancements, because my ELS level is still pretty low, I think it would be better for me to funnel the coin into my attack enhancements, bring it up to like a 3.0, 1.4 over here, and then only think about going back to utility enhancements. So maybe over the next week, given how expensive these things are, it will probably take about a week to complete what I want to do. And that is perfectly fine with me. Now when that is done, then my next goal would probably to bring this up to 2.0, bring this up closer to 1.8, and then pump a little bit up in my free upgrades. So everything should eventually start looking like big Qs on this page. And once all of that is done, then I would think about pumping up op size from there, bring it up to like 2 for op size. So yeah, that is the workshop and enhancements side of things. In terms of card masteries, I haven't gotten any card masteries this month. If I were to get card masteries, and there are still quite a lot that I need to get, so I would think that health regen is something that I'm starting to see value for in tournaments, specifically because of the overcharge enemy. But before I get there, I think it's relatively low in terms of my priority. So I'm going to take a backseat on getting the health regen mastery for the time being, until such time where my wall regen and my health regen labs are at pretty decent levels, or when I'm able to start labbing them. So it's going to be at least a month or two before I even consider health regen mastery. Attack speed is probably going to be useful to proc more chain lightnings and so on. Critical chance is probably useful for extra damage. Plasma cannon is probably useful for elites, especially in tournaments. Like just yesterday's tournament where we had the attack speed, I got nuked by Rays a couple of times. So having plasma cannon mastery where we reduce the amount of damage on that we need to do on the Ray enemies, it's probably going to be quite useful. Fortress mastery would be nice with overcharge enemies, because if my wall breaks, I want my wall up as quickly as possible so that the overcharge enemies don't end up taking out all my energy shield charges. So, you know, I think the counter to overcharge enemies is going to be health regen and fortress mastery. Health mastery, yeah, maybe it's important, but with enough attack level skips, we should be able to tank the overcharge enemies for a bit. And it's much better to tank enemies, as we know, with health regen than it is with just having a larger health pool. Death Ray mastery would be nice. Energy net mastery would also be nice. Energy shield mastery would also be nice. So I mean, there's so much more to get, right? 1, 2, 3. Landmine stun mastery would be great to have, just for the overcharge enemies to miss me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 9 more masteries to go before I'm in a satisfied place with my masteries. It's going to take a while, but you know, we are just chugging along. Now in terms of my modules, so let's have a look at modules. Amplifying Strikes, as I mentioned, has been up to Ancestral 1 star now. I caved. I went on that website which shall not be named this month twice and I got gems for it. But I love it. If anyone is considering whether or not they need this module, I would say, you know, you don't necessarily need anything in this game, but it's very nice to have. In the farming runs, it's going to just boost up your overall damage. Think of this as project funding number 2, right? Not as good as project funding, but it's project funding number 2. So in my tournament runs, I can actually get to over 1Q base damage just by having Amplifying Strike and Project Funding together. I really love it. So the reason why I had not locked Bound Shot Chance is because, you know, I accidentally, well, unintentionally is more like the right word, wrote on Bound Shot Chance over here. Now Bound Shot Chance is good, it's nice, but what I really need, if we look at the stats, so random multiplier, great for Poison Swarm Plus. Damage per meter, great for Spotlight Plus. Super crit, I have both of these two. I have crit, I don't have crit factor. Which I think is harming me. Attack speed, I kind of need it because I don't have attack speed mastery, so having more attack speed is good for me. But this one over here, I really want crit factor. And if I'm able to roll in crit factor, it will be huge. So if we have a look at how much difference the crit factor actually makes, currently I'm sitting at 330 times. Now if I equipped, say, my Astral Deliverance that has a crit factor rolled in, look at that, 406 times. So I'm losing 70x damage per bullet, just because I do not have that stat, and that's a lot of damage. So, you know, I think what I really need in this substat, and what I'm going to try to roll for, is Bound Shot Chance to get crit factor over here. Now when that happens, then, you know, maybe I might consider just respecing the workshop, locking off Bound Shot Chance instead of Bound Shot Range, and runs might be shorter and so on, but I think I'll be happy just getting more coin. Yeah. So that was where a bit of my rerolls had went. As you can see, not many rerolls here. You would also notice that my 2 generators over here, previously this was 161. I've pulled out the stones from this, pulled out the shards from this, put them into the generator over here. And the reason for that is, check out my Galaxy Compressor, guys. 5-star, it's like the perfect substats that you need, right? All the free upgrades, the 2 attack level skips and health level skips, package chance, coins per kill. Perfect. Exactly the same. perfect. The only thing that I can grumble about for this is that attack level skip didn't come in here, and free upgrades as a result. As we saw earlier, my free utility upgrades is slightly less than free defense and free attack, and that's the main reason why. So my next priority is to try to get this to 201 as quickly as possible. When this gets to 201, that will be a non-issue. Also, because of that, at least for the rest of the month, I think my stone priority is going to be bumping into multiplier efficiency and substat efficiency. Multiplier efficiency because I want to get this up to 201. So then having a higher multiplier efficiency means that getting them at the same level is not as costly for me. Then, in this case, I would probably need more levels in my Black Hole Digester because it's the primary module, because my secondary module only has 40% efficiency. So it would be nice to bring this up to, like, hopefully by the end of the month we can bring this to 45% or so. Substat efficiency just because I want a bit more EOS. Right? EOS is hard to come by and it's really, really useful in helping us progress further in waves. Now, in terms of where my other stones went, where my other shards went, I've tried re-rolling out this stat over here. No luck, but it's okay. Eventually, I'm going to re-roll my Ohm chip. Well, I haven't decided if I actually want Ohm chip as my primary module on the core, but it seems like 15x damage is good, and I can't really roll my Dimension core for farming substats. Just because I use it for tournament substats. And rolling cores are a pain, guys, so I might be less efficient in farming in terms of being able to get further waves, but until the game gives me a second dimension core, which I don't think is ever going to happen, I can't really do anything about this. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Now, in terms of my primordial collapse, look at this, it's also all ancestral now. And there's one substat missing. I would like, instead of Chain Lightning Chance, to have, say, Spotlight Angle over here, because my Spotlight Angle is actually pretty weak. If you saw from previously, it's 66 degrees. Unfortunately, I haven't managed to pull it, but Chain Lightning Chance came along, so we might as well keep it. 3% of Chain Lightning Chance is pretty decent, given that I've only got 20% of Chain Lightning Chance. So having 23%, I'm not complaining. I'm at a point now where I actually need damage. And for a while, I was actually dying to Scatter Babies. So, having more Chain Lightning damage, not a bad thing for me at this stage. Maybe I lose out on a bit of Spotlight coverage, which translates to less coin. But it's hard to get the stats that we want, and we can't always get what we want in life. I'm happy with the Poison Swarm cooldown and duration. It's giving me a lot more uptime. I actually use my Poison Swarm stunts in my farming runs, so having these two substats I think really helps with just having more uptime. And then I got my Smart Missile cooldown here, which means Boom Boom is on the way, right? We're getting more Smart Missiles, which is why my Smart Missiles is now at 12 seconds cooldown. Eventually, when I get the 201 substat, I wouldn't mind getting Spotlight Angle, Spotlight Bonus, or even Smart Missile quantity at some point. But we'll see. We are at the mercy of what the game throws at us. But if that doesn't come, it's okay. I'm eventually going to get 12 seconds reduction on my Smart Missiles, which means 8 seconds Smart Missiles. And maybe if I have a bit less quantity than usual, it's not the best, but we will make do with it. It's still going to pop off quite nicely, I would say. So yeah, that is where my modules are at. Damage per meter. We can jam rush this. Yeah, let's do that. Extra level into damage per meter. So let's check out the labs on what I'm doing. Enemy, it's Enhancement utility, coin discount. This is something that I have been just perma-labbing. It's only at 5x speed now. Cells are, I don't have a shortage of cells, but I think where my cell income now is at is roughly just enough to get 2 labs at 6x and the rest at 5x. So I'm just putting this in every time I get a level. I do level or 2, I get a respec. Until at some point, maybe when it gets very costly, I'll take it out. But at this stage, it's still very cheap. It's what, 7 trillion coin. Lab coin discount, it's going to be the new lab speed lab. This is going to go box. I think I will bring it up to, yeah, I'll probably go box this lab. And I'm not sure at this stage if I will permanently lab it, but maybe when it gets closer to like 85, 90 or so, I think that last couple of percent probably not so crucial, right? Like it will be a 1.5% discount. I can live with that, paying extra 1.5% on my labs, that lack of efficiency. But once this number gets a bit higher, that's when these labs are going to go in. As you can see, the S-Mods labs, they are really, really expensive. Level 4 to level 5 is already almost 1 big queue. So I'm going to hold off on putting these labs in until this thing gets a bit better. And the main reason for that is because my lifetime coin, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the amount that it's at currently, but it's not super high. I think those at the end game right now are probably half an S worth of coin, or maybe even more. So the moment I put my coin into workshops, it's going to be permanently lost. So rather than do that inefficiently, I think it would make sense to hold off on the more expensive labs until such time that this thing gets a bit better. And in the meantime, it's not like I have a lack of labs to put in. I'm putting tank enemy health over here just to allow me to kill tank enemies a bit better in tier 17 or and above. Swamp Ren, mainly just because it buffs poison swamp damage. And my poison swamp damage is, well, amongst my 3 ultimate weapons, it has the most development. So this is something that I think I should go box as quickly as possible. And in terms of the other labs that I'm looking at, AoE Mastery, I'm going to leave it as level 8 for the time being. It's hurting my farming runs when I use this card because I cannot turn on stuns. But if I unlock my Space Displacer, when I unlock my Space Displacer as mod, I think it would be okay to go box this lab. I can then turn off Poison Swamp and turn off the Poison Swamp stun and just rely on inner landmine stuns to allow my ops to do what they do best. Protector health, I don't mind getting it up because Protector ultimate is also something that's really, really annoying for me. Lightning amplifier, scatter enemies. At some point I was having issues with scatters. I brought this up to level 20 and it seems that scatters are no longer an issue for me now. So again, when we get to a point where I die to scatters once again, then this lab goes in for another 2 or 3 levels. Boss health, at this stage, I think my ops and CF plus tend to do a pretty good job with controlling the bosses and killing them. So, I'm not exactly in a rush to work on boss health. But Protector health, I want to kill these Protectors as quickly as possible, especially during Protector ultimate. Shock chance, at some point I'll get in there, especially once I start working with Dimension Core. But it's a long way more from today. Super crit chance, super crit multiplier. These labs have been here forever. Just lack of a lab slot to put them in. Once damage per meter is done, I think I would then lap in attack speed and prepare for attack speed mastery. But 84, 85 levels in attack speed, at this stage, it's sufficient for me. Swamp Radius, again, because AoE cut mastery is buffing the radius, I can't exactly level up this lab to go box until such time where I get, say, the space displacer. And even then, I'm not even sure if it would be worth having landmines. Sorry, if it will be worth using space displacer in farming runs, because negative mass projector would allow me to trim more enemies with the orbs, and it's not going to slow down the time that it takes to kill the enemies. So yeah, we shall see. There's a lot of experimentation upcoming to test on. But yeah, that about wraps up the damage side of things. Health regen and wall regen. I think these wall health, wall regen, this 5 labs over here, maybe, but as you all know, I'm not really a huge fan of EHP. People are laughing at me, right? This is meme worthy that my defense percent is level 19. I can't be bothered. Maybe at some point I would lap this up, but that's going to happen when all of these other top priority laps get lapped up first. Yeah, so now on to the tournament related stuff. This week tournaments have been decent. I got 3rd place and 3rd place for both of it. It's not as good as before, but at least I didn't get any 4th and 5th place. I'm happy with it. I actually got a new PB in this last tournament, 2797 waves. Really happy with it. Now, I'm not sure what my exact wave count would be at without Spotlight Plus, but having the new module and Spotlight Plus together got me this number of waves. Maybe if I pushed a little bit more, I could have gotten to 2800 or so. If I did not have the new module and Spotlight Plus, my prediction would be that I would have died around the 23 to 2400 region. So around somewhere at this level, 2400. So, you'll be the judge of whether or not those two are useful for tournaments. I think 300 waves in Legends tournaments is pretty significant for just having those two upgrades. Right, so in terms of the keys, as mentioned, I'm going up for the bot respecs now, so I can unlock the first tick over here. Next week, I should be able to unlock the second tick. And then once that is done, I think it will be two weeks before I can get this last bot respecs. And once bot respecs happens, it's going to be beautiful in tournaments. Guilds. So in terms of my Guardian, I finally did the fetch respec. So as you can see, I didn't unlock the new slot. I'm only using fetch chip now. My fetch chip, this is how it currently looks like. Not sure if this is the most efficient, but I was trying to follow the spreadsheet on stream, and I confused myself. So I just asked Greenie. So special shout out to Greenie. Greenie was kind enough to tell me this were his stats. So this is the stats that I'm using. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. I'm not going to question whether it's efficient or not. And I think that about sums up everything that I've had over this past week. Is there anything that is missing? Let me think. Well, we have 20 gems, so let's just pull a module. Let's pull a module. Come on, amplifying strikes. No. Alright, we didn't get anything. I was asking around whether or not I should get more stars into amplifying strikes or just save up for the next banner in case it's a good one. People are saying that I should get more damage, so that's why I've been pulling my gems over here. That's not to say that the next banner might not be good, but I think if I were to think about what's going to happen, right, we have gotten a new core, we have gotten a new cannon, either a new generator or either a new armor. Now when the next month comes, I'm going to unlock the new armor. I'm going to unlock the armor just because of Space Displacer. I want to play with Boom Boom. So this slot is fixed with Space Displacer. I can't really do anything about that. Which means that if the next banner comes along and it is an armor module, I'm not going to be able to play with it anyway. So I don't really care if I have gems for it. Now, if I want to play with Boom Boom, I also need Galaxy Compressor. So because of that, if I'm in my tournaments, Project Funding and Pulsar Harvester, they're going to be in. Either that or Project Funding and Galaxy Compressor. So then again, for generators, I don't really need any new module. So that's my rationale for why I'm just using all my gems into this too. And maybe I would shoot myself in the foot when the next banner comes along and it's really good. But you know, we should play the game the way we want to, and the way I want to this version is Boom Boom. So yeah, I think that about sums up everything. Oh, this is how my bots look like, by the way. So 540 over here. I'm not sure if this is the most efficient. There's still a lot of levels that I could get for M bot in my labs. I should do them at some point, but then again, I don't know what to put in there. If you guys know, please let me know. I'm wondering if tank enemy health might be better replaced with amplify bot. So I've got another 3 seconds that I can get on my amp bot. Actually, that sounds pretty good. Huh. Yeah, maybe I just get more 3 seconds of uptime on my amplify bot, because what is 3 seconds? 3 seconds is, where are bots? Bots are here. 3 seconds on a 50 seconds cooldown translates to just about 5% more efficiency. Slightly over 5%. Is that right? Am I counting it right? 10% would be 5 seconds. Yeah, so it would be 6% of efficiency in the uptime of my amplify bot. If I were to lab up this, where is it? Tank enemy health lab. Each level is 0.4%. Suppose I go box this lab. That's 16 levels. 16 times 0.4. 1.6, 3.2, 6.8%. 6.8% efficiency on just one enemy type. But this one, with Amplify Bot, I get 6% and more efficiency on dealing... Where is my bot again? On dealing 8 times more damage on everybody. So I think maybe Amplify Bot might be more efficient. Let me know. Maybe my math is wrong. If you do know the answer, please do let me know. I'll really appreciate it. But with that being said, I think that's all the content that I have for today. And I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week ahead, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.